I don't know how these chemicals know, but they are only triggered when we see a potential mate. Can you imagine that? And not to every other person else. Good evening, good afternoon, depending on the time you're stopping by to watch this video. My name is Ella, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about the science of attraction. How do we actually fall in love? Things are going to get detailed and maybe a little bit tough, but not so very tough. So I think maybe it's a good idea that you grab some tea, coffee, or some drink so that you can be sipping as things get tough and tougher. But you know what? I'm going to make them much easier and slow them down bit by bit so that you can understand what actually happened. Why we always say, I feel so attracted to this person, man. I feel that they are the one. You know, funny enough, you don't feel like this to every other person. There is that specific person, if you see them, you're like, you know, those feelings. If you was there, you know what I'm talking about, and if you was not yet there, you will probably be there in one of these fine days, hopefully. So without further ado, let's dive into this video. First things first. Hey, first things first, let's begin from the very beginning. What is love and where does it come from? Actually, in many definitions, we will say, oh, love is a feeling, but there is much more to that than just a feeling of attraction or any other thing else. And also, number two, I want to say there is characteristics of love. And we have also a checklist of love, what love is and what love is not, which I will talk about on my next videos. In this very video, I will say that God is love. So love started with God. When he has seen that mankind had gone astray, because of the love, and he can't stop it. So he wanted just to see a way of how he can make things up and restore the relationship what he had with men before. And for that reason, he made an ultimate sacrifice that whoever believes in this sacrifice will have eternal life. Eternal life. Everything God is doing, he does it eternally because he is God. He knows everything from the end to the from the beginning to the end, and end from the beginning. So he is Alpha, he is Omega. He knows everything, and he have created everything for the glory of his name. So even this love we are talking about, I mean, it just when you think about it deeply, this is plainly something that shows how great he is. One point. Pheromones. Have you ever heard this word somewhere? Pheromones? This is very special chemicals which are produced and triggered. I don't know how these chemicals know, but they are only triggered when we see a potential mate. Can you imagine that? Yes, there are special chemicals and they are not produced for everybody. You will never feel them when you see everybody like the same. No, they are very rare feelings, and they are just responsible when you see your mate. That is how unique God is, and he created this. That's why I'm saying he is the originator of love. So that is why any human being, when you see a potential mate, man, for many stories we have heard how someone tells you, when I saw this lady, oh, I heard that this is just my wife. Something just told me within me. You know, I knew that they are the one from first sight. Okay, sorry, it's not everyone who see the person feels them. Sometimes we are very passive, and it depends. It's not the same everywhere, but most of the stories you heard, someone tells you, I saw them and I knew they are the one. Why? Pheromones were involved. So pheromones is number one point that we are learning here. These are the chemicals, magic ones that are produced only when you see a mate, and they are not produced when you see every other person else. This brings us to number 2. Our brains. Our brain plays a very big and major role when it comes to this. This is because when we are attracted to someone and we begin interacting with them, our brains begin to produce a feel-good chemicals like dopamine and oxytocin. And these two chemicals, they are like sensational dance party happening in the brain. And this is why someone tells you, oh man, I feel butterflies. This is how the butterflies are originated. It's a sensational dance that happened like in the skull, like it's really tingling. And this is a phase that is known as to many people a honeymoon phase. This is a place whereby it's no longer you, it's chemical controlling you. And during this phase, a lot of problems can happen, especially in a setup whereby intimacy is involved during this time. This is something that will cause a lot of trouble majorly if it's wrong and it's not the right time to do this, because you just seen this person, you just attracted and you're just getting to know each other. When you push things so fast and then later by bad luck you come to find out that they are not like you thought, it's very hard to come back, because when intimacy or oneness is involved, it creates another type of bondages. So in this phase, you have to be really full in control of your mind, your body, and put your body in full subjection of your spirit, so that these feelings don't just come and take you over. Okay? And also to the teenagers, it's very, very important that we understand that teenagers in this time, they will be controlled by that. That's why some teenagers find it very difficult to obey the parents, because they feel like, I'm in love. Like, I'm in love. What are you talking about? I'm in love. Why? The sensational dance happening in the skull have already blocked their mind, and they can't see any further in a clear way. What can you do in that situations? That's a topic for another day. Okay, so let's move. Adrenaline and cortisol. Well, probably you've heard this word before somewhere, because these are just the major hormones that our body we know them like the stress hormone, the body stress hormone. You know, those little troublemakers in the brain and everywhere. Yes, those are the adrenaline and the cortisol. And for lack of a better word, I will say that adrenaline and the cortisol, they are like the cheeky troublemakers in the love party, because adrenaline are responsible to making the heart beat faster, like the heart is beating in stress. The heart has seen something, the heart wants something, you know. So this is the work of the characteristic of adrenaline. It really pushes the heart and makes it to beat very fast, while cortisol now adds the dash of anxiety in the brain. You know, those anxiety, like you can't wait to see someone, like you can't wait to, it brings kind of some, it's like a love roller coaster, you know what I mean? Yeah. Yes. So with all of this happening at once, it's too much for the body, like for the brain, and the body will begin to behave in a certain way. Okay, and this is when a body begin to behave in a certain way. For example, a smile suddenly becomes much wider. You know what I mean? I mean, talk about sending signals. It's like the body is telling the other person or the other body, like, hey, I'm here, you don't see me, like, what's happening, what's up, and funny enough, sometimes it feels the same on the other side as well. So shortly, that was about the hormonal part of this. And finally, I would like to say something shortly about chemistry. Chemistry is like finding the perfect formula that clicks. You know what I mean? It's like putting two puzzles together and they like fit very perfectly and flawlessly. And for the chemistry now, you find that it's like kind of focusing on the long run of it, because it could be many things, from shared interest to humor to a lot of personality traits that complements each other. And when that is found, then it should not be left. I mean, if you find out that the complementation part of it is working perfectly and flawlessly, remember, I don't mean that interest must be same, but they should be like complementing each other. This is very good for the long run. So when you find this, then you can probe about it and get a final answer concerning that. I will leave it at that. And now a recap of what we have learned. What have you actually learned? We have learned that love is a beautiful cocktail of pheromones, brain chemicals, body language, and chemistry. And it's a wild dance where heart and mind are the main dancers. Okay? So, next time, if you feel some butterflies or feel some of the things I just discussed about the body chemicals, just know that it's the chemicals doing their marvelous work, and you must not be distracted with them. Actually, you need to master your body, put your whole body into subjections, and do not be led by chemicals, because you can end up somewhere that the chemicals will not put you out. And with these few remarks, we have come to an end of this video. Thank you for watching the science behind falling in love and the mystery of human emotion. If you have enjoyed this video, like, comment, and share. Subscribe and turn your notification bells so that you're notified whenever I upload a new video. And on our next video, we are going to talk about 5 reasons why you should wait until you are married to do some things. You know what I mean? Okay, and the 5 benefits of doing that. Meet on our next video. Bye for now. Ciao.